to my channel. On this particular video, I'm going to show you on how to use the most commonly used command in Linux. And the most common one is the ls, and the ls will stand for the lists. So if you use the command ls, it will show you all the directories, all the files, all the folder that you have in your machine. Okay, command number two that we have apart from the ls, we have the machine, the command pwd. If you press the pwd, it will print the working directory. It will rather print the working directory. Okay, next part we have the command rmdir. Rmdir stand for remove directory. But before we do this, let's start with the make dir. Make dir stand for make a directory. So this is the command that we make a directory with, assuming that we want to make a directory with the name testing slash commands. So what you have done, let me see, we use the list to see all the directories that we have. Where do we have it? Here you can see that we have already created the directory with the name testing commands. So we use the command mkdir to make a directory. Well, in order for us to remove that particular directory that we have made, we use the command rmdir, which stands for remove directory. So the directory that we have just created is this one, testing command. So I will paste this one, then try to see what we have. So as you can see, we have already deleted this particular directory from the list that we have. Okay, having done that, so far we have covered the ls, which stand for the list, pwd, which stand for the print the working directory. Then we have the mkdir, which stand for make directory. Then next we have rmdir, which stand for remove directory. Okay, let's try to make another directory, then I show you the next command. Let's call the next directory John. We have John. Okay, let me try to open John. So we use the command cd to open the directory that we have created. So what we have done, as you can see, we have been able now to open John, which is our directory. So we use the command cd to open a directory, not that. So you can use the cd to open a directory or a folder. The same time, you can use the mkdir to make a directory. Use the ls to show the list of all the directories, the folder that you have. Okay, next step, let's try to make a folder or a file. So we use the command touch. Let's call the command gen. So what we have done, we have just created a file inside the directory John with the name gen, just as you can see. So we use the command touch with the name of the folder or the file that you want to create. Okay, having done that, for us now to get rid of our folder, we use the command rm to remove. If you want to remove a file, you use the command rm. So the file that you have created is the file gen. So let's see what we have. As you can see, we have deleted the file that was in our directory with the name John. Hope that up to that point we are together. So we have the ls, pwd, mkdr, r, we have the cd, and we have the touch. So let's try to create another file. So we use the touch. Let's assume that we want to have a touch with a file name James Jonathan. You can see that we have spacing in between. Then you press the enter button. So let's see whether we have been able now to create the file James, Jen, and the Jonathan. So we have been able, by the use of the command ls, you can be able to see the file that we have in our directory. Now, let's assume that you want maybe to create another directory inside the directory John. You will use the same command, that is mkdir. Let's call the command Joseph. Okay, let me see what we have. So you can see that the color is different. The color for the file is supposed to be white, where the color for the directory is supposed to be this one, because we have used the command mkdir. I hope that you are able now to distinguish if we have a directory and a file inside another directory. We will be able now to distinguish either of the two because of the color. For the files, it's always white, whether for directory, it's always that other color. Okay, let's try to open the directory Joseph. So I will use the command cd Joseph. So you can see that we have Joseph. Joseph is inside the John. Joseph is inside the directory John. Okay, let's try to come up with a file by the name Stanley. So we will use the command cd. Okay, let's try to open the file Stanley. So we use the command Stanley. Now let's assume that so no, okay. So Stanley is not a direct, so you cannot use the command cd. Now let's assume that you want to go back one step from the Joseph. So you will use the command cd, then dot, two dot. If you want to move two step backward, you use the cd, two dots. Okay, let's try to redo the thing again. So open cd Joseph. So if at all you want to move backward in one step, use the cd, then the enter button. Okay, let's do it again. And I show you now the last thing that you can do. So we have, now if you want to go now to the root, you will use the cd, then enter button. It will take you now to the root. I hope that you have been able now to get to understand the major command that we use in the Linux. That is mkdir, ls, rmdir, cd, touch, rm, then the other part we have the cd, dot, dot, then you must have a space in between. You must have a space in between. Okay, let's try to open the folder. Let's try to open the folder as Joseph, which is the directory. So I need to show you now that particular concept. fcd. Okay, now let's try now to clear everything. So you use the command clear so that we can start afresh. So we have the list, then try to open our directory John. Okay, then from John we have we open Joseph. Okay, let me see whether there's anything inside the Joseph. So inside the Joseph, we have a file by the name Stanley. Okay, let's assume that you want to delete this particular directory. Okay, so let's go back one step. Let's try to see whether we can delete the directory Joseph. So let's try to use the command rm Joseph. Now, you will realize that you cannot delete or remove a directory with command rm if the directory is not empty. If you look at our directory Joseph, it has a file by the name Stanley. So you cannot use this command rm. So the only way that you can delete this one is by use of command d remove dir Joseph. We have failed to remove Joseph directory is not empty. So if the directory is not empty, there is a new command that you must note, and be careful with this one. So for if the directory is not empty, we use the command rm dash r, then the name of the directory that you want to delete or to remove, which is the rm dash r Joseph. Then use that command. So you realize that we have managed to delete the directory Joseph. So those are the major commands that we use in the Linux. So don't forget to comment if you need to know more of the Linux. Just comment with a question. I will get back to you. Clarify whatever you want to know in the simplest language possible. Also, don't forget to like and also to subscribe. Bye bye. Have a lovely day.